Hello everyone, happy new moon. Okay, so let's get this going, all right? So new moon in Scorpio, Saturday, November 14th. It is happening at 9:07 p.m. I might have to edit my blog. So if you're watching this video and you saw a blog that I posted, I know I have to edit it. I don't know how that happened. Something wonky happened where I said AM instead of PM and the wrong time. Okay, so it is happening at 9:07 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's 12:07 p.m. I believe, or 12:07 a.m., right? Happening on the 15th then, right? 9, 10, 11, 12. So it would be 12:07 a.m. on the 15th, Sunday the 15th, for Eastern Standard Time, New York. Okay, and that Eastern Standard Time coast. Okay, so check for your area when the high peak of the new moon in Scorpio is happening. All right, so for Pacific Standard Time, it's Saturday, November 14th, 2020. So this is my first time doing the video on this platform where you can see, in this setup where you can see the sun and the moon, and I'm pleased with my lighting once, you know. So this is pretty cool. I'm hoping that that doesn't, okay, I don't want to move things around too much. All right, so in this video, I'm doing the astrology reading for the new moon. What does that mean? I'm checking the temperature of the day, right? I'm checking the energy of the day. The planetary alignments do affect us, especially if that planet is associated with us. It's in our birth chart very strongly in so many different ways. I can't get into all of it right now, but the planetary alignments do affect us. Planetary emotional influences, right? Or influence. So it influence our energy, our personality, and it's not in an excuse type of way. It's more of learning and being responsible, right, for our own energy, our energy that we feel within ourselves, the energy that we bring. So yes, I just want to take a moment and say, making this video, 3 different things happened. I didn't plug in the camera, the charge cord. I made a mistake on here. I had to change it from the 14th to the 15th, because when you're doing all of this setup, things happen. We're human. Someone reminded me of that, you know, and then the chart was off, and I was like, no, I know the moon and the sun is not in the 1st house, it's in the 4th house. So things happen, and you just keep going, because, you know, shout out to all the YouTubers, shout out to YouTube for this platform where we can actually share and so on, because it takes work to bring this all here. It's not just poof, you know, it takes time, energy. So yeah, then I'll do the 12 signs astrology reading, where I'll look at where your zodiac sign is in the house and what planet is there. Okay, and if there's no planet there, which it seems, you know, everyone kind of has a little bit of something going on, because yeah, like Cancer, you know, we'll look at it. Okay, we'll look at it. That's the point. We'll check it out. All right, so let's get started. So let's look at this. So thank you guys for being here. Let's get to it. I do believe that's, yes, Scorpio is in the 4th house. Okay, so for this new moon, Scorpio is in the 4th house of Cancer. All right, I want to put that in there, in the 4th house of Cancer. So Cancer, you also will be feeling this new moon quite strongly too. But I want to say Scorpio, of course, you're going to feel it very strong, and so Taurus. Okay, so it's kind of, I want to say that it's kind of the same as tarot reading in a sense, you know, where if you, let's focus on Scorpio, because it's a new moon in Scorpio. If you're a Scorpio birth sign, you might relate to that tarot reading, right? But the astrology reading, you're going to feel it more. And if you say no, then, you know, I can't really deal with skeptic people. I'm just not here for them. But you might relate to it as a moon sign, a north node, or a rising sign, right? So you're going to have to see how this reading plays out in your life, okay? Because the energy is there. Now the sun is 23 degrees, and I'm going to bring it up because I also have it on my phone as well, okay? And I do like bringing up these different charts I have. So I'll try and do a little, I'll try, you know what, I'm gonna have to turn my volume down. I forgot to do that because I keep getting phone calls, these scam calls. They're so annoying, right? It's like, geez, give me a break, people. They're always calling, and it's just, any advice on that, I block it too. Okay, yes, so the sun is 23 degrees 17 minutes, so is the moon. Mercury is 5 degrees 6 minutes. Uranus is in opposition of Mercury, 2 degrees 59 minutes. That's pretty long, but it's a really low degree. Neptune trines the sun and moon at 5 degrees 4 minutes. And Venus is very interesting this new moon. Venus squares Jupiter 1 degree 4 minutes. It squares Saturn 4 degrees 56 minutes, and Pluto 0 degrees 44 minutes. And it will kind of shift on your location, but take in the energy and the information. Now the strongest element for the day is water, so it's a very strong emotion. You can really tweak the day, and you really have to think for yourself. Once you hear the reading, don't doubt yourself. Just think, how can I apply this to my life? Okay, so we're going to go through all of this. Okay, Scorpio. Scorpio is a sign that is very passionate. It's a water sign. You're ruled by Pluto, but you're also ruled by Mars. So in some literature, writing, books, you'll see Mars mentioned there. And with that said, you can either vibe really good with an Aries that's ruled by Mars, or just want to stay away from them because you find their energy too controlling or jealous, right? So you have that natural jealousy within you, and that comes from, yes, it's not a good trait, but also it comes from a desire to really be successful at what you are passionate about. The Scorpio energy deals with the underworld. It deals with rebirth, secrets, jealousy. It deals with your inner power. So what I'm saying right now, what is your issue leading up to this new moon, on this new moon, and you're going to use that energy to work with. Anytime during the day, the 14th and the 15th is 2 power days where the energy is strong. Okay, so I have some edits to do on my blog after this. So the energy is really strong on this day. But check it out. How can you apply it to your life, right? Inner power, sex, sexual magic, passion, other people's money, meaning receiving money, and also being creative. This new moon is really strong for anyone that have a strong Scorpio to receive messages that you want to know. Like maybe you've been searching for an answer for something for a really long time and you weren't able to find that answer. Well, leading up to this new moon, you're going to find the answer and the solution. I've experienced that because I have a strong Scorpio in my chart. Okay, receiving money, intense feelings not shown, right? So you might be having a lot of intense feeling, and then you really have to kind of coach yourself through these feelings, because sometimes these feelings are just frustration, they're confusion. You could be upset because you want something to be good and it's not good. So you have to really see, why am I feeling this? Instead of acting out on it, just feel your way through it. That's why this meditation thing is really good. This is like my 4th time recording this video from all the little glitches, but it's kind of like, did I say that in the video before? But it's using the time in this new moon, the high peak, and the duration of the high peak for your meditation. And I'll get to that in a minute. But the Scorpio energy think of what the Scorpio energy deals with, because it deals with, like I said, those intense feelings that you don't show. It's dealing with learning more about something, and it revealing itself to you on the moon or during leading up to the moon. It's a great time for you to research, right? It's a great time to create, even though we're in waning moon, which is really getting rid of things. And that's another good thing too, is, well, I'll notice that if I don't get rid of something, and or other people too, if they don't get rid of something in that waning moon cycle, when they have the urge to really just get rid of it because it's served its time, whether it's clutter or, you know, things build up as you go, clutter builds up, or just things build up, and you don't handle it, then in the manifesting time, you're like, you'll receive, but then you're like, oh my gosh, I have to now get rid of this, and I felt like I should have, and it's just too much. It gets too intense, right? So strong and intense relationships can start at this time, and you really have to weigh out what this emotion is. So be careful of, I would say be careful of getting into a relationship, because it might just be on the hormones of that Scorpio energy. Someone said to me yesterday that there's more Scorpios in the world than other signs, because I guess Valentine's Day being in February, people getting romantic and everything, right? And then by this time, a lot of babies are born. Well, since we've been on lockdown in March, there's, like I've said, I've been saying since the beginning of this year, a lot of November, December, January, and February babies. Those 4 months, within that time, there's going to be lots of babies. So I'm pretty sure on the news at some point at Christmas and into January, they're going to be like, babies are being born. Well, yeah, we know. You know, I posted those memes, you know, of pregnant women, you know, walking. You know, there's a picture of pregnant women all like maiden dresses, right? With like flowers in their hair and different color dresses. I'm sure some of you have seen that. And it's like a little meme about being careful in March because, you know, of the birth, of the baby boom that will happen 9 months later. So I'm expecting that, right? So that Scorpio energy is very passionate. So just be mindful of your attraction to a person right now. If you're in a relationship, you'll naturally feel that chemistry and that attraction to the person. Okay, so that's going to be natural for this new moon. All right, and Scorpio deals with the underworld, right? So some people will say Hades. I like to think of like the Egyptian god of the underworld, Osiris, right? Father is Anubis, I believe, right? So it's like that underworld energy, and you can use that to think about, okay, maybe a lot of the deaths that happen at this time is very meaningful, but also there's a rebirth that's coming. That energy is going to be recycled to get into a new life, right? We try to keep it as positive as possible, right? And you just kind of look at the meaningful people that are passing away in this Scorpio energy, and how they've touched people's life and the memories you have surrounding these memories, right? So that's something very powerful to notice, to look at. Okay, so my chart's here. So like I said, the most powerful element of the day is going to be water. The second is going to be earth, and then matching is fire and water. Okay. All right, so being in the 4th house, this is Cancer's house. So there is a lot of healing and home energy within this new moon. So some of you might want to focus more on healing the home, right? And also self and love, like this whole relationship vibe, okay? So that can be a very powerful energy at this new moon. Now let's first look at Neptune, okay? So the energy of Neptune is going to be at a trine to the sun and moon. And Neptune is in retrograde. So we want to be mindful of how we're looking at things, and Neptune being in the 9th house of Sagittarius, okay? And Uranus is also in retrograde, so is the North Node, South Node, and Chiron. All right? So being mindful of how we're slow to react to the energy that these planets bring. Let's just say it that way. Neptune trines the sun and the moon. It's calling on us to be more creative, to be more inspiring and gentle, using gentle words, and let our actions be gentle and be sensitive to our feelings, other people's feelings, and be more of a calming soul to yourself, right? And you can feel the energy of the room, right? To know how to get your healing message across. So, you know, a lot of times we allow ego to get in the way, and we want to feel like we're doing something great, or, you know, what have you. But recognizing the greatness in others and also recognizing the greatness in yourself is really powerful. But, you know, not, let's say, not one, say that they're different groups, right? Sometimes this group might be just naturally stronger because that energy calls for that, where another group will, or say a crystal or an herb, right? You wouldn't have, like, I like tea. I grew up with herbs and stuff like that. So a certain tea, you wouldn't drink it in a particular season, right? And some you can, but we're just using an example. So every dog has its day, right? Everything has its moment to shine. Just because it's great doesn't mean it's great right now. Everything has its moment to shine. So just being mindful of checking the temperature of the room, knowing the energy of the room, really connecting to that Neptune, especially if Neptune is strong in your chart. Okay, it might not be your ruling planet, but you might say something that, you know, is not in line with the moment right now. So you just really want to be mindful of that, right? And making sure that your words are a healing message, right? And that it can be understood and interpreted correctly. It's all about how we say things, because it does really matter, and we're not perfect, and it all can be fumbled and crazy, right? And the trine is trying to get in tune, in line with what could be more comfortable, but it should be a slow moving action that's needed, rather than expecting things to go fast. It's kind of like slow running honey. It's sweet, but it's not going to be like a big blast of sweetness or whatever. You want to just take your time, be steady, let the energy flow. Don't try to force a feeling. Just let it work, right? And you want to work towards your emotions being more balanced, whatever you're feeling, your imagination, your whole Neptune energy of how you are going to perceive things, or right? You want to be in harmony with it, and you want it to be of an essence of beauty. So you want things to be naturally flowing. Don't force it, okay? And it will be beautiful, and it will balance itself out in time. There will be harmony, right? So you can really use that, and that's in Pisces. So you can really use that energy in your home sign planet, okay? And you want this energy, this creative energy, to share it with everyone. And you will feel this in your sun and moon. So you're going to feel it in yourself and in your emotion, and at home in the 4th house, okay? Because it's really, you're going to feel that energy. And some of you will naturally feel that also in your 8th house as well, okay? Very strong for Scorpio as well. They'll feel that need to be very spiritual and connect to their astral travel, their creativity, using their imagination, thinking beyond what you see right now. If someone's telling you something as a Scorpio or as a Pisces, you're going to just really know that you're not getting the full truth. You're going to see. And that's like a water sign thing, even Cancers too, because Cancer, you know, all this action of the new moon is happening in your 4th house. So all the water signs are very, very intuitive today. okay? Or, you know, the new moon. So let's look at what Venus is up to right now in the chart, okay? So Venus is in Libra, 22 degrees, 10 minutes, in also a little bit in the fourth house, because, you know, the house, everything will, it will connect in that way. So it's a little bit still in the fourth house energy, even though the planets are moving, okay? So just roll with it here. So Venus squares Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, and the square is a tension. It needs an action and a reaction, right? So we want to be mindful of how we're perceiving things. That's why in this new moon of Scorpio, we really want to sit back and look at everything, kind of like Pluto, right? We don't want to just start blabbing our mouth. We want to just read the temperature of the room, right? And then when you speak, it is more accepted, right? So Venus effect with Jupiter in this square is trying not to be too optimistic, right? Or also protective. You want to keep an open mind and a watchful attitude about things. Don't make decisions right now that you might regret in the future. And with this Venus squaring our Saturn, it's our emotion to really overthink things too much. And especially when someone is giving us love, some of us might want to, especially if you're ruled by Venus or you're ruled by Saturn, you're very wary of this good emotion that's coming towards you, because you're all about protecting yourself, and you want to be able to control the situation, even if it's something that's good for you. And the way that this Venus square affects the Pluto is asking us to be a wiser person and really taking the high road in any situation, and really learning and understanding a situation and the lesson from it, right? And for some of us, this type of experience might come out of the blue for us, and it will be affecting our third and fourth house. So Gemini's house and Cancer's house, right? So this is where this whole Venus squaring these three planets of Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, we might feel that it's affecting our feminine energy, whether we're male or female. That's another way we can look at this too. Our mind, the way we communicate, and just anything that affects our home. The Uranus now, Uranus in opposition to Mercury, okay? So we're looking at Uranus going over to Mercury here. And Mercury is in Scorpio. We can see Scorpio here. We can see Mercury here, the fourth house. And we can see that it's opposing Uranus here is in retrograde, and it's opposing Mercury. Uranus here is in Taurus, and it's in the 10th house next to Lilly here, Lilith, okay? So Uranus in opposition or opposite Mercury, it's like fast thinking, a genius. So we might notice this action in ourselves or in others where they're communicating to really be against you. So be mindful of that. You know, people will, you know, trying to be tricky or not clear, and their motives is not clear. So we can notice that, not really, or feeling like you don't want to go along with the plan, you know, especially if something is a norm or a tradition. You'll find that some people might not want to go with the plan. Others may also find a communication with someone, especially someone that's ruled by Mercury or ruled by Uranus. There's a little conflict there of just not really trusting the other person or their motives, right? And where is this going to be? This can be an unnecessary behavior at times, right? So this will affect the work environment and also the home. So it's kind of like, you know, that Uranus energy wants to rebel. The Mercury energy wants to get their message across. So it's not really getting, and it's a genius. It's still, even if someone is communicating in a bad way, there's still a genius lesson to learn from it. Okay, it's hard for some people to see that, but it is true. And the opposition is, it is a extreme contrast, right? It's a contrast, right? A complete change from the way you were perceiving it or that person before till the effect of their behavior now. So the person, you might have been in a different state of mind viewing something in one way, and now it's out of control. Okay, so it's really getting this energy back into alignment, and it's really the Uranus energy that is not working at its best when it's communicating, right? And then we have that Mercury coming out of retrograde, so that kind of adds to it too, because even though it's out, we're still dealing kind of with the effects of it. Capricorn is in the 6th house. Let's look at this, because we're looking at the strong alignments right now. Okay, so here's Capricorn in the 6th house. We have Jupiter, we have Pluto here, and we have Saturn, okay, in the descending. Okay, so that's really, it's like very private, very much close to home. Okay, and this is going to be affecting our Virgo. The Virgo house is the 6th house, and the way that we serve others and our health. So Jupiter is asking for a big change in the world to succeed. Saturn is like putting more effort into getting to the goal, okay? And Pluto wants to make a way for this change. So the 3 planets are really on the same, in space, they're on the same line of sight, right? So even if they're trying to get to the same goal, we can interpret it that way, it's still a big or a great transformation that needs to happen, because that's the energy that Pluto is setting that table for, right? And it's like this is the timing and the chance to actually evolve, if you will, right? So what good things can come or can happen in your life right now by this moment to really sit and understand what Jupiter is saying for you, Saturn is saying for you, Pluto is saying for you, and what is the great transformation that can happen in your life, because everything is timing. I experienced this even last month. It's like with someone, I was like, hey, this is the right time for you to do this, but they didn't want to do it then. They had valid reasons, but then they waited until it crumbled, and then it's a harder time now, right? But it still happened, even though it was a harder time, right? So we don't want to necessarily wait and think things are really, really bad to make a change, but sometimes that's the way it happens, and you just have to move with it. So where are we experiencing this Capricorn in the 6th house, Virgo's house of service and health? We are experiencing this big change in our social life, our leadership roles, our personal lives, our work and money. So this Capricorn is really changing the structure of how we look at service and health. How are we serving ourselves? How are we serving others? How is health being handled in our life? So we're going to notice that. Okay, so those are the big aspects that I wanted to share. So you know, this, yeah, I mean, the time it took for that was worth it. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. So let's look at all of the signs right now. Okay, so let's start with Scorpio, because Scorpio has the sun, the moon, and it has Mercury. Okay, so this, and it's happening in the 4th house of Cancer. So I've explained all of that already, so you can really tap into that Scorpio energy, and everyone can tap into that. Where is Scorpio in your chart? Where is Mercury in your chart? What does it mean there, and how can you apply that to this new moon? And you can look at your birth chart. That's why I'm saying to everyone, you can look at your birth chart and see how this relates. What's happening in your 4th house? Where is Mercury in your 1st house? What's going on with Scorpio? Okay, where's your sun and moon? So just see those relationships. But then what are you going through in your life. That's the other way of looking at it. What are you going through in your life? And from what we have just read for the astrology for this new moon in Scorpio happening on the 14th and the 15th, depending on your location, where can this benefit you? Okay, so let's see. Now, Libra has Venus and it also has the IC. Okay, so let's see if I can tap into that for you guys. So you guys, Libra, it's all about you connecting to your Venus energy. Like I said before in the other videos, it's just allowing things to flow, allowing things to go the way that it needs to go. Virgo, you are experiencing no planets, so you can always look over to Pisces, who has their home planet of Neptune in retrograde. So say less and just be beautiful. That's the thing, right? It's like say less and be beautiful and focus on your home energy, right? So it's like a lot of that second house energy for you guys, okay? Leo, it's that first house energy for a lot of you, and a lot of speaking more now. For a while you guys might have remained quiet, but you're speaking out just a little bit, but still being mindful of what you say. It's very powerful, okay? And you have a lot of the ascending, and the fortune is in between you and Cancer. So money is good and your luck will feel good. Cancer in the 12th house, no planets, but really tap into feeling lucky, like Leo connecting to maybe a Jupiter energy. That would be really good because it's across the chart, but there's no angles, but you can still connect to that Jupiter energy. If you meditate, you can do a meditation on that, okay? For everyone, this moon is really tapping into the Mercury energy in your meditation. And also for everyone is protecting our energy. All right. And finding like a mudra that works for that, right? You can do it with both hands or just one. So I'm making a meditation video on that as well, so you guys can check that out on my meditation channel. It's the Karama mudra, so you guys can check that out, or any kind of protective energy mudras and meditations that you want to do. And your meditation or mantra doesn't have to be in any other language. It could be in your language, and I'll explain that to you. If you guys want to see the meditation video, let me know, and I'll share it on my platform as well. Okay, I'll share some information there. So let's keep it moving. So Gemini, you have the North Node. It's in retrograde, yes. A lot of 11th house issues. So you will want to make sure that you are connected to just having good relationships with your work, your friends, your social life, just having a more open energy to that. Some of you have been kind of closed off and just kind of resting or been super busy, so you're saying less, but you know, you're just feeling your own energy and making your way through, okay, and connecting to understanding your North Node energy. And that's what you should be doing whenever the nodes are in your sign, is just being more focused on that. Taurus, you guys have Uranus in retrograde and Lilith energy in the 10th house for your work. So be really mindful of how you're communicating with people in work, because that can either make or break you, okay? Because your words hold power. When your planet's in retrograde, you have to be really careful with what you're saying, how you're saying it. And it's also trining, like I was just saying, Mercury. So be really careful of what you're saying. Your words hold power. Aries, you have the MC, so the attention is definitely on you. So use it in a powerful way. You have your Mars planet there, so use your Mars planet in the best light possible, not to You know, you have your Mars here, you have Chiron in retrograde. So if you need help in healing, receive help in healing. Receive help, know when to ask for help, and know, just let down that need to do everything, you know, and just give yourself time that you need to heal. Okay, very powerful. All right. I'm trying not to bring that other window up. Okay, so just being mindful of your energy, and it's a great time just to be confident and to put out what you want to put out there that will be ultimately very successful for you. Okay, you want to put that energy out there that you know is going to be a shift for you. And we're coming up into that eclipse happening on the next new moon on December 14th. Okay, so you want to use that energy in the best possible way. So think about what healing you need in your life and how you're going to use that. All right. Then moving over to Pisces with Neptune in retrograde. We already talked about that already, so you guys got that information from the beginning. But just think about yourself, right? Your emotion and your self-identity. So that can be a big thing too. And some of the water signs might even vibe on that, your own identity, where you stand, and what makes sense for you. Okay, so just be very mindful of your emotions, Pisces, and just surround yourself with a lot of positivity, a lot of positive words. Okay, and that's happening in the 8th house. You'll feel that a lot in the 8th house. So you might be dealing, some of you might be dealing with death in some way, or money or relationships. Okay, so just use your mind to overcome. If you're going through a hard time or if you're going through a good time, you know, your mind is still very powerful. So just be in balance of your emotion and your self-identity. Okay, Aquarius, no planets, but you will be having some kind of like 7th house issues. Okay, and you want to be mindful of how you look at things one way. So just to realize, even if you feel that you're correct, that there's two sides to a story, and look at it in a different way, even if it's not correct, you know, regardless if it's not correct. Okay. And then Capricorn, we know that you guys have, you know, Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn. Okay. And in the descending. So, you know, what are these more or less private issues that have to do with either your health, your relationship, your marriage, and so on. So how is that affecting your life? Okay, Sagittarius, you have the South Node in the 5th house. So that is going to be Leo's house. Okay, so Sagittarius, having the South Node in the 5th house, you guys are going to want to focus on your relationships. Okay, so if you're in a good relationship, great. If you're not, you are looking at how comfortable you are with your love life, your family life. You know, kids, don't want kids, the kids you have, and really looking at how you can break, and this is for everyone, is break negative patterns, negative behavior. That's what the Scorpio new moon is really a cleanse. Okay, it's really being grateful for the life you have, the journey you're living. And it really it's a somber energy, but it's also a very powerful energy too, of just recognizing the importance of your existence and really not taking things for granted. and it's also an uplifting, healing new moon, where you're starting a new cycle for yourself that is going to be very healing. And the south node is cleansing the past relationships and past life karmas and past old way of thinking, and shedding that. So it's a very strong structure. It also holds its own strong Saturn energy of the lesson that we're learning, and the structures that we set up for ourselves, and how we can let go of that. Okay, so that's the reading. I never know exactly what else will pop up, even when I write things down and kind of look at the chart and see what the energy of this new moon is. But this energy of this new moon strongly affects the home, and it's about, you know, letting go of things that we don't need anymore, and how we perceive our life, and how we perceive and how we relate to our home. So this new moon cycle is really going to look at how our health, our how we take care of ourselves. It's a strong health and service. You know, how am I serving myself? How are other people serving me? It's a very mothering energy, in the sense of the structure of what should be, right? Right? Because whoever is supposed to nurture you, or wherever that nurture is coming from, if it's not there, then there's an issue. So this moon really focuses on looking at that and making sure that it's in balance, right? And it's a very strong feminine energy. So are we using too much of our feminine energy? Are we not using it correctly or right? So you're going to see a lot of storylines of that in our lives and people around us. Our children, or children, if you don't have any, women, mothers, will see strong fourth house conversations leading up to that, related to who's related to who, like roots, our DNA and ancestry. So we'll see strong kind of information on that, and it's all around health and wellness and family and home, and the emotions around that, and how the structure is, right? Because even though it is a new moon in Scorpio, it's also affected by the Capricorn energy, right? The structure of it, right? And anything that is considered, say, private, that we don't really know about, right? It's something that we might only discuss, say, in secret, behind a home conversation, dinner conversation. But those conversations and those kind of hidden decisions still hold power in an open platform in our daily lives. So it's really looking at our home, our health, and our service, how we serve us, how we serve others. So I hope everyone enjoyed this reading. If it helped, definitely click like, and thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. All right, peace.